Hi, it's Tony here from Victoria Falls Guide. Welcome to this short video about Victoria Falls. I'm going to be sharing some information here that I think will help you when planning a holiday to Victoria Falls. I'm going to be using this map, this Google map here, and my mouse, and I'll be pointing various things out, so that'll hopefully make things clearer for you. So let's start. We've got Victoria Falls in the center here. It is situated on the border between Zambia in the north and Zimbabwe in the south. It is on the Zambezi River. The Zambezi River has its source up in northern Zambia here. It flows out of Zambia into Angola, back through Zambia. It forms the border here between Zimbabwe and Zambia, all the way through Lake Kariba, up through here into Gaborone in Mozambique, and then eventually flows out into the Indian Ocean over here. It is a stunning river. It's the fourth largest river in Africa, and it is 2,700 kilometers long, so it's pretty impressive. So let's move in a bit closer here. We'll zoom in so that we can get a bit more closer, a bit more of an idea of the lay of land here. That should do it. So from here we can see the Zambezi River coming in. It's wider here. This is where the Victoria Falls themselves are. At this point they are 1.7 kilometers wide. That's the width of the falling curtain of water, and then they narrow right down as the water is all constricted in these gorges. The Batoka Gorge is below Victoria Falls, where the whitewater rafting and that sort of activity takes place. You can see here, you can see the towns. This is the town. This is Livingstone Town in Zambia. This is all Zambia. North of the Zambezi here is all Zambia, and this is all Zimbabwe. South of the Zambezi here. So you can see this is Livingstone in the north in Zambia, and this is Victoria Falls town, which is the Zimbabwean town on the south bank. You can see that Livingstone town is substantially larger than Victoria Falls town, and it is also positioned slightly further away from the falls themselves than Victoria Falls is. It is that if you are staying at a guest lodge or a B&B, guest house there, that can be a slight disadvantage because it does cost you a bit of money every time you want to get down here. So you have to catch a bus or catch a taxi. You will incur costs there, whereas everything in Victoria Falls is pretty centralized to the falls. Many things are with a walking distance, and all the hotels and that have free shuttles through to the falls themselves. Both towns are serviced by international airports. Livingstone Airport has Livingstone Town has Livingstone Airport up here. There's Livingstone Airport, and Victoria Falls has Victoria Falls International Airport down here. Flights into Livingstone Airport tend to be slightly cheaper than flights into Victoria Falls Airport. That is because the low-cost airlines such as One Time Airlines, Kulula Airlines, they fly into Zambia, and they don't as yet fly into Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe have airline carriers such as South African Airways and British Airways. So the flights are certainly cheaper into Zambia, but there are other factors to consider. So if you are flying into Zambia yet wanting to stay in Zimbabwe, you must think about things like transfers and that it'll cost you a little bit more money, well, almost double the amount of money to catch a transfer from Livingstone Airport through to Victoria Falls Airport, purely because it's not the distance involved. As you can see, they're both about the same distance. In fact, Livingstone Airport's only about 18 kilometers from Victoria Falls, and Victoria Falls Airport is 22 kilometers from the town center there. But there's another border post to go through here, so you have to land in Zambia here, you have to clear customs here, then you catch a transfer here. The transfer can be arranged through any travel agent. We can certainly arrange a transfer for you. You can even arrive at the airport and catch transfers from there. You can also catch taxis, but if you catch a taxi, you'd have to catch a taxi to the border, you'd have to catch a taxi across between the two border posts, and then you'd have to catch a taxi from that border, from the Zimbabwe border post to your hotel. So you'd end up catching 3 taxis, which is a bit of a nuisance when you've got luggage and that kind of thing. But if you catch a bus, you will catch a bus, and you'll have to clear customs again, exiting Zambia here, and clear customs entering Zimbabwe here again, and that's where the cost is involved, and that also can take extra time. And once you've cleared customs in Zimbabwe, that is about a 20-minute drive from there to there. So and you can check into your hotel and get on with your holiday. Whereas here, this could depending on border post and how busy they are, can take you an hour or 2 or even longer. The other thing to consider is the visa fees. If your nationality requires you to buy a visa to enter Zambia or Zimbabwe, you will that can be expensive. Many nationalities don't require it. South Africans, for instance, don't require visas. But certainly, if you're a British passport holder, an American passport holder, a Canadian passport holder, an Australian passport holder, you have to buy a visa. You can check out our visa page on our website under travel information, and you'll see there all the nationalities and what's required of them. So please do check on that, because you will have to buy, if you fly into Zambia here, you'll have to buy a visa to land in Zambia, then you'll have to buy a visa to enter Zimbabwe, then you'll have to buy another visa when you re-enter Zambia to fly home again. So yeah, you're purchasing extra visa years, and those can negate the cheaper prices of the flights. And there's another thing to consider. There's the yellow fever vaccinations. If you're flying in from South Africa into Livingston, South Africa requires you to have a yellow fever vaccination certificate. It's not Zambia that requires it. It's not anyone else. It's South Africa has said that anybody who's traveling through Zambia and coming back into South Africa requires that visa vaccination certificate, and they will not let you on the plane without it. So you have to get it. Whereas if you fly into Zimbabwe, you do not need it. It's as simple as that. You do not need a yellow fever vaccination flying into Zimbabwe here. So I think they've covered a few things there. I hope that's made a few things clearer to you. We'll be doing a series of these videos explaining some, with the many questions that we get asked on a daily basis. So we'll be trying to explain some of those. So I hope it's been useful, and please look out for more videos. Thank you. Bye.